Welcome to New Hampshire's Education Data Literacy Framework series. This video is one of 11 that guides you through various components of the Education Data Literacy Framework. This particular video will provide an introduction to how your program or district can prepare to use data in a meaningful way. After watching this video, you will walk away with a greater understanding of why you should share data, review ways to routinely disseminate or widely share data to key stakeholders, and understand how to make data more accessible to stakeholders, including families. So, why share data? Remind yourself of your purpose and vision for focusing on data. If you haven't watched it yet, check out the video in this series titled Purpose and Vision. It focuses on the importance of a clear purpose and vision for data use being critical for this work. As described, a purpose aims to address the why, while vision takes a look at the what. Defining the why and what of data can highlight any individuals or groups that would need access to your data to either make data-informed decisions or generate reports. These folks may work in the classroom or at the administrative level, or they may even be families or other members of the community. Another consideration when you're sharing data is the level of transparency you would like to have with these stakeholders. Let's turn our focus to understanding your current data. Think about all the data points you currently collect. Essentially, where in your program, district, or classroom do you collect and look at data? The type of data will look different for each program or district. Maybe you have child attendance records, child observations data, teacher survey data, or notes from family-teacher conferences. All of these things are part of your current program or district-wide data. Simply put, anything you collect information on can be considered data. At a classroom level, you can think about the data you collect as a teacher, such as progress reports or daily notes to families, observation notes, and child work portfolios. Just like a teacher has a ton of data points for a classroom, a program's or district's data is very similar, a collection of data that paints a picture of your entire program or district. Knowing that you are likely dealing with a lot of information, here are some considerations to ensure you share data appropriately and utilize strong practices during data collection and use. 1. First, we want to always maintain the privacy of data. As we know, data can contain sensitive information. For these reasons, we recommend that your data use team agrees upon or creates documented procedures to ensure confidentiality and the protection of personally identifiable information when data is reported. Consider key questions you want to answer with your data. To do this, you'll want to circle back to the purpose and vision of your data. For example, maybe your program's goal is to improve family engagement. You want to write out any questions that you have about current family engagement efforts in the program in relation to your goal. Then pull any existing data that you are collecting that can answer these questions. Is there any additional data needed to answer your questions? Are you collecting data you are not using and don't need? The next step is to consider how to streamline access to data and how requests for data are handled. Begin by identifying who has access to the data and the current process for sharing and pulling data for use. While adhering to privacy and security guidelines, ensure that data is accessible to all who need it to make decisions and who are approved to use that particular data. Examine your process for pulling data for data requests for inefficiencies such as duplicated efforts or unnecessary steps. These barriers will make your data harder to use. Consider whether it makes more sense to identify a key person or personnel to manage the data or to create a shared folder on the computer or in the cloud. If you have a data use team, you may work with them to create a plan for sharing data with key stakeholders. Who should receive the data? In what format? And how often? Also, consider having a process to prioritize data requests. For example, in the case of a school district, if your district's superintendent needs data on your program's performance, what does this process look like? How about a grant writer or advocacy group? Finally, if you have a data use team, have a process of gathering feedback from your data use team on your data collection and usage. You can also collect feedback from stakeholders. Do members on your data use team have the opportunity to reflect on how data is collected and what they feel is missing? What about the accuracy of data? Or what data may no longer need to be collected? When it's time to widely spread your data to your program or district staff and stakeholders, you will want to prepare the data in such a way that promotes understanding of the data and, most importantly, informs decision-making. There are many ways you can share data with program or district staff and your key stakeholders. Think about the ways you may have been presented with data. You may have seen one-page briefs, PowerPoint presentations, or other methods that have helped you understand the data in front of you. Use a variety of approaches such as videos, webinars or displays, tables or infographics to really enhance the user's understanding of the data. Whatever methods you choose, keep in mind what the stakeholder or staff member needs to see and why. Consider how to present the information in a way that is sufficient and easy enough to interpret so that the data appropriately tells the story. Be sure your products include documentation of data sources, information about the use of the data, the relevant updates on data collection or analysis. Also, include information about who to contact for more information about the data, and of course, always ensure that any personally identifiable information is protected in accordance with your program or district policies and federal and state requirements. You'll want to talk to your stakeholders and identify what they need to know from the data. This may look radically different than what your program or school staff and teachers need to know. The type of data each person will receive will be based on what decisions they need to make. You might find that teachers often will need child-level and classroom-level data, while school board members will want to see district-level data. Regardless of if you use a black and white chart or a colored video with music to widely spread your data should be shared purposefully. Before we conclude, a special note on making data accessible to families. What we discussed about sharing data with stakeholders applies to families as well. If you're sharing data with a family member, you would want to consider their needs and choose the best method to present the data so that it is understandable and can be used by the family in the decisions they make. With families, we also want to be cognizant of language. We recommend using plain language or aiming for language at an 8th grade reading level. You may also consider translations into the family's home languages. Try your best to share the data in places families already frequent or with program or district staff and stakeholders they trust. For example, if you are sharing a short video on district-level special education literacy data with families, you may choose to partner with your local library or other organizations that families visit and trust to share out the information on their websites. Think about where the families go and how to reach families through these already established relationships. For guidance on using plain language, check out the ACF Digital Toolbox. We hope this video helps you understand the importance of sharing data and some key things to keep in mind so that all stakeholders can use data to make decisions. Thank you for watching.